Hey, this is Great Zach Tate with Man Government Monday. I hope you're tuning in. If you're tuning in for the first time, let me tell you what the man government is about. Man government was created as a form of guidance and leadership for males who don't exactly know how to be men. These standards are strictly from the Generation X standards that was around, not the toxic ones, but the productive, healthy ones. Back when there was a time where men were held accountable, men had a sense of duty and responsibility that they had to do because they were the men. Men who come from the lenience of protecting and taking care of your village, your family, your community, your loved ones, and even strangers. That moral standard. So man government was created to bring back and interject because there are so many single mothers who have sons, and those sons are growing up severely emotional, not knowing what to do. So we created man government. Hopefully, we'll be back on track on Mondays, making posts regarding men, issues that men face, and suggestions on how men can deal with these issues and have some type of ammunition to be able to respond when people are discussing these certain hot topics, issues, and things that's even an attack or compliments masculine manhood. So tonight I want to start with LeBron James. This week I was astonished again. I just feel like I must be way too old because I couldn't understand how people could have a problem. Well, I know people got a problem with everything, but how do people have a problem with a man saying to himself, I would love to play with my son on the same team? Who would possibly have a problem with that? You got to be like a special kind of hater to not want to see something like that. Number one is historical. Number one is pioneering. Number three, the man has given much of his life and success to the Lakers. And if his son ain't had the skills to make it to the NBA, he wouldn't have been in the draft. Trust me. There's millions of guys that's nicer than guys that's in the NBA and basketball skills, and they don't make it to the draft. So let's talk about nepotism. Y'all learned the new vocabulary word. I'm proud of you. It's good that y'all learned a new word. Hopefully y'all can get rid of narcissists and come on over to nepotism and understand that any real father, our number one duty is to hope that our sons has the ability to live a life that is 10 times greater than ours. The reason that we put the work in is for our sons to be able to have the tools that they need to take our family to the next level. LeBron James came in, one of the youngest basketball players in history to sign a contract, dominated, became a king of the sport. His son watched him ascend to all the championships and the person he is today. His son now gets to say, not only are we breaking generational curses, not only you, Dad, broke the poverty curse from our family, the first one. I'm going to take it to the next level, and my brother behind me might end up on the same team with us in 2 years. Now, I don't watch basketball. I really don't care about the sport because this is, sports is a distraction to the masses from really looking at the most important issues. So what I do look at is fatherhood. What I do will say he's the MVP or maybe the GOAT at is fatherhood. Because for me to be working in FedEx and my son to grow up and be a full adult and work in FedEx with me kind of makes me a failure in my book. I was taught that I make the sacrifice so that my kids can have a greater life, experience greater things, and do things that I used to do with difficulty, but with ease because I'm around. So now that Bronny has entered the Lakers with what it looks like with ease, everybody got their panties in a bun and is losing their mind saying, how come? So let me help you out. I know that we have abandoned the concept that men are supposed to take care of the entire village. I know that many of you males struggle with this ideology that the community, your family, your sons, is your direct responsibility. I know you deadbeats have a problem with this. I know that women who have never ever experienced a real man in their life, never had a real father in their life, or had a father issue, could probably fix up their face and have something negative to say. People generally have something negative to say based on the trauma in their own life. Has nothing to do with what the individual is doing. So I can understand somewhat or rationalize somewhat how individuals can conclude, oh, something is wrong with LeBron. So he was supposed to let his son go into the NBA and play for an opposing team. That's the first thought. I want you to just think about that. Your child is playing against you on another team when you got the power to bring him to your team. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I want people, especially poor people, to learn the word equity. Like I just learned nepotism and y'all learned narcissism for a couple years ago. I want you to learn this word called equity. When you are highly invested in a thing, and that thing pays you for the rest of your life and your children's life and your grandchildren's life because you have some equity into it. So you have LeBron saying, not only are we going to create and do something historical, we're going to create a legacy. Not only are we going to do that, if all things work out well, we're going to have so much equity in this franchise that we are set for generations to come. Another factor I want you to consider, like deeply in your mind, like as a father, as a parent, am I not supposed to take the steps for my children and be able to see where the path is clear and then tell them which route to take so they don't make the errors that I made? If your son wants to be like you, I know my dad was my greatest superhero. So can you imagine if Bronny is saying, my dad is a superhero to the world, but he's my dad. I want to be just like him. And that dream came true. You mean to tell me somewhere in your being, y'all had an issue with this? And y'all was willing to verbalize it publicly? No. You are in violation of man law. As a man, since you don't know, let me help you out. As a man, your duty, your responsibility, your mindset, your status and your swagger is, I want to see people do better than me, or I would love to see others get the things that I want the most, because my turn is going to come. You don't ever have to hate on what somebody else is doing. For the love of the sport, you should love this. For the love of seeing people coming out of poverty, and if you want to take it to the race card, look at some black power in effect. Damn. Have you ever heard of black privilege? Yes, this is what we should want for Deion Sanders and his kids. This is what we should want for LeBron and his kids. The LaBelle Ball and the Baller family, we should want that. Anybody that is doing anything that demonstrates that their kid is going to propel to another state of greatness, we should applaud. We have to applaud. Because if we come out as a community, we come together as a tribe, we come together as a unit to support this type of energy. This energy spreads and it trickles down to all of us, to the point where we allow the ability to miss some pitfalls and get some mentors and some leadership and some guidance, because it'll be the end thing. It'll be almost the norm again. So let's bring back that norm regarding that. If you was hating on LeBron, you out of balance, man. Pull yourself together. It's hate. recognize it, and straighten it out, because you're in violation of the man government. Number 2 on my list, Sean Puff Daddy Diddy Combs. I hear it at home all the time. Why can't I just leave this thing alone? Let me tell you why I can't leave this thing alone. Cancel culture. Who the are you to decide that you're going to cancel somebody based on them making errors, committing an act that you disliked, or because you feel that you supported this person so much, you have the right to help tear them down? Violation of the man law. As a man, you should never, ever root for a man's downfall. Let me tell you why. The adversity, the struggles, the persecution, the oppression, the attack that man is going through, one day can be you. I know that many of you don't even fathom, can't even dream big enough to think that you will be at that level, so you're just miserable. And your misery comes out by attacking someone that can't attack you back. But what I'd like you to do, if you got any sense, is to think about how come every black major mogul, when they want to make a serious deal that's going to take them into hundreds and hundreds of millions and multi-billions, that when their dirt come out, we don't see it as obvious. Oh, Muhammad Ali is trying to make certain moves and purchase media companies, and all of a sudden he has an issue. Muhammad Ali, before that, was showing the black man that he was God and that he was powerful and that he could stand up against oppression and the system. I'm not going to Vietnam. What did they do? Incarcerate him. That's their answer for us all the time. Some form of slavery in some form of fashion. It ain't even always strategic. It's just what they know. They know that slavery was effective. They know that the purpose of slavery was to wipe out any black person's desire to want more, to succumb to just being a slave forever. And those ancestors have grown up and taken on this tradition where they don't even know sometimes that they're racist and being oppressive. They just know this is how it's always been. So now Diddy goes through an issue with the Ciroc company about his money. They go on a smear campaign. Then he's already a media mogul, which means he already has the ability to deprogram you. They don't like that. That's why you can say how you're going to kill your fellow brother, you're going to do something against somebody black, but the minute you mention another race or ethnic culture, you're getting canceled, because they don't like that. They like to be the gatekeepers. Rightfully so. It's good for business. However, as a person on the outside, how do you say to yourself, yeah, I cancel him? Or you running around saying, no Diddy. You have to clarify that you're not stating something that's homosexual. Why would somebody even think that about you unless you had those feelings deep inside? And then at the expense of an icon, you just want to snatch away everything. He ain't even been charged with something. And personally, I don't care if he was charged. I saw the tape. Abuse is abuse is abuse. My only problem with domestic violence and domestic abuse is I never heard a woman say, I kind of like when he's aggressive like that with me. I know millions of them is out there, but I have never seen one come and say, I agitate, I pull the trigger, I push him all the time because I like some form of attention is better than no attention. I never heard nobody say that. I've experienced it. I dated that type of person. I married that type of person. I understand. That doesn't mean that's the case with Cassie. However, there's two sides to this story, and there's no excuse for a man physically harming a woman. I don't know the dynamics of their relationship. What I could just fathom is when you're a billionaire, you get away with murder because people volunteer for you to murder them. I know that you get away and get certain benefits and privileges because people will move and succumb and do things for money, like the R. Kelly case where he was sleeping with the mother and the daughter and had them performing sex acts on each other. They were willing participants. Yeah, it's kinky. Okay. Who are we to judge about somebody else's kinkiness? So I know that the power, the money, the influence have you bugging out sometimes. I get that part. Let me be clear again. There is no excuse for abusing a woman. Anybody that's aggressive, anybody that's gangster, anybody that's a bully, anybody that uses violence, we all know when you do it, it's going to come back to you. Make sure you can handle it. So when he did what he did, the consequences is going to come. But how are y'all jumping on a bandwagon to see him prosecuted? Ask yourself, what's going on inside of you? What sickness do you have inside of you? What daddy issues do you have inside of you? What hatred do you have inside of you? That as a man, you jump on a bandwagon to persecute, co-sign the assassination of another man. Why? Why is your hate so great? Violation, man law. Violation. What you're supposed to do, at the very least, is keep your opinion to yourself. What you're supposed to do, at the very least, is to ask yourself, what would happen if I was in that shoes? What you're supposed to do, at the very least, is evaluate why they coming at him now. And that's the other thing that be killing me. How come these things be like 10 years old? Because the timing goes along with when they are making business moves that's going to allow them to create an empire and a legacy. Simple. Everybody got some dirt. So they throw the dirt out. Because they know your own people is going to turn on you if we use this media devices the way we need to. And that's what we doing. I heard a DJ from Hot 97 say yesterday, well, Diddy's canceled. We can't play none of his music. So now, here you go with the same thing I did with R. Kelly. You don't do it with Elvis, but same thing with R. Kelly. I'm not allowed. The ambassador of musical minds says you're not allowed to enjoy hits and music from somebody that you're a fan of because they did a bad deed. Come on, man. Y'all go for that? Y'all go for that. You that much of a zombie that somebody else can tell you what to like and not like. I'm not justifying what he did. I'm just saying, damn, for a black man to come from nothing, reach billionaire status, making a big move with DeLeon Liquor about his money, has a media company, black owned. They start throwing a smear campaign, push Cassie's button. Cassie, the woman who ran off with the personal trainer that he used to pay for, ran off with him, whose money got short. You sued me before you tried to get criminal charges against me. If you was that affected and that hurt, how come you ain't go to the police and file some charges and get them arrested? Then you did a money grab because you going from a billionaire to a personal trainer salary. And money does count for all you naysayers that don't think money counts. Money counts. It's a whole different world when you can wake up and touch anything you desire because of the man you're dealing with. And then that get taken away from you because you want to chase the pursuit of love and happiness. And you realize that a lot of that is fantasy and some bills to pay. And you can't live the same lifestyle you used to live. So now somebody eggs you on to go drop a lawsuit. And then what made it worse is Diddy was like, yo, how much? Yeah. Oh, 6 million, 10 million? Yeah. Chump change. Give her that. Because what these lawyers is going to try to take, I don't care. I still love her. How much she want? 10 million? Give it to her. Oh my God. We can't get to this guy. He just paid her like that? Oh, he's guilty. Yeah, he's guilty of the act he's being charged for. But it ain't my job or your job to try to be jury and prosecutor and judge in the situation. Mind your business. How did you become such a chatty patty that you rooting for his downfall? So I guess today's whole thing is about hate and haters. But I know I'm making this video because some of y'all don't even know that you're in violation. You don't even know that it's something wrong to be hating on a man. This is all you know all around you. Everybody do it. People get jealous. People get envious. And they say these type of things. So you just doing what you do. Or even worse, you listen to what your girl's saying and you running with that and letting her lead not only relationship, but lead your mind and your thoughts. Come on, man. Watch the manipulation. Watch the manipulation when they are trying to destroy another man. My last issue that I like to bring up is I was thinking about something. And I was saying, my sons probably wouldn't know what to do because of the ego. Let me start off by saying, if you get in a dispute with a man, I'm an expert at this. Expert. Threw half of my life away because of this. You get in a dispute with other men over women. Let me tell you what that's about. Got nothing to do with the woman at that point. It got the point to do with the man feeling like he's going to impose his will or power over you and you don't like it, so you strike out violently. I understand. I get it. But when you do, and if you do, understand that when you kill that man, that woman is still going to run around and find another man or spouse or somebody else while you sitting in prison, rotting away. Or, God forbid, you don't want to get the bad end of the deal. You dead, he in prison, she frolicking around with somebody else that you know. So, this is what I want you to think about. But the scenario that I'm bringing today, I was listening to Steve Harvey. There was a strawberry letter. And in this strawberry letter, it was about a woman who got divorced, met a new man at her job, got engaged. Her husband, who she divorced because he was following his nature of a man and seeing other women, and she got tired of it. And she filed for a divorce. He's still in love with her. She's still in love with him. But because of her emotions, she dissolved the marriage. In the process of the divorce, she received every single material thing she asked for. He said, you can have it. That's what you want? You can have it. He moved on, still making his money, still in contact with his ex-wife. Now, once a wife, always a wife. Once a wife, still your family. Still your family. But just like some family members, you gotta love them from a distance. That's how you can do your ex-wife. If you don't know how to communicate or deal with your emotions, or she don't know how to communicate or deal with her emotions. But if you both know how to communicate and both know how to deal with your emotions, remember that this is the person you used to say together forever with. You think all that just gets thrown away? You just throw all that away? No. As a man, that is still your family. Now, in the Strawberry Letter, the husband that got divorced, he bought the woman a Range Rover as a gift. Then she, wonderful woman, she didn't accept it. She parked it someplace else and never drove it. I salute her. I salute her. I salute her, because most women be lying and don't even know they lying because they done convinced themselves their misdeeds has never even happened. They would have came home, would have made up some type of excuse. Oh, I hit a sweepstakes, or I won it at the lottery, or I did something else, or they would have just went back to their husband because he bought her a Range Rover. This woman said no. She parked the Range Rover and continued with her fiance, who's a school teacher like she is, and they don't make that much money. God bless all school teachers out there. So now, this woman's grandmother died. Her ex-husband and her grandmother were close. The ex-husband pays for the funeral, everything. The fiance, the new guy, and the wife, the woman, go to the funeral. The grandfather stands up and thanks the ex-husband for paying for everything, for all the things he did. The fiance loses his mind. We are leaving. We are going home. We're not going to no repast. And we're going to pay that man back every dime that he paid for your grandmother's funeral. That's when you are acting like a buster. So let me help you break this down. Your girl's ex-man wants to pay something for your girl. Rule number one, if your woman wants to do something, ain't nothing you're going to be able to do to stop it. That's number one. So you ain't got to look through no phones, because the truth always comes to light. You ain't got to go hire no private investigator. You ain't got to do none of that unless you a severely rich man and she's a very poor woman and you think she's just trying to take advantage of you. If it ain't nothing like that, then listen, the truth is going to come to light. A woman is going to be a woman, accept her for who she is, or just live a single life and you never have to worry about none of it. But if you decide you want to commit with a woman, understand that she's a human being. No matter how much she say, you own me, daddy, I belong to you, daddy, I live for you, I'll die for you. No matter what comes out of her mouth, follow the actions. That's number one. Number two, one of the things that I resent about men is we don't talk to other men about the women we want to spend forever with. You should ask your woman, tell me about all your exes. Tell me what they did right and what they did wrong. That way you got a cheat sheet to know what she likes and what she don't like and what she's not going to tolerate. When you run into these men, your mentality is supposed to be, hey, what's up? So-and-so, how you doing, man? Heard a lot about you, man. My name is such and such. I'm with such and such now. Oh, automatically, if he is a real man, is going to have a whole different level of respect for you. Because 9 times out of 10, he's not built like that. So now, here you are saying, this is the number one key. I am secure. I am confident in my relationship. And in the event that this relationship don't work out, I am going to be okay because my confidence. You're supposed to pull that man to the side. Not you supposed to, it's just what I do. Pull that man to the side, say, yo, let me talk to you. Yo, I'm really feeling her, man. Why didn't y'all work out? And what do I need to know about her? Yeah, I did it several times, bunch of times. So now those men tell me what they want to tell me. Because many of you guys look at a woman and think that she's superwoman. And for many of us, she's just average. The woman that you love and adore to somebody, she's just average. But But he may have loved and adored her, and if that was the case, and he expressed that to you, salute to that man, respect that man, and then you can kind of figure out if he's just running game and going to try to backdoor you. And if he do try to backdoor you, and she does go for it, she wasn't yours anyway. So why, he saved you a lot of headache and heartache. There's a whole bunch of other women out there. Don't worry. You can do better. So now, the ex-husband pays for the funeral. The fiancé loses his mind because his ego is involved. His image is involved. What are you supposed to do in that situation, Zach? Let me tell you what you're supposed to do in that situation. You're supposed to shake his hand. Yo, bro, you doing it. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. You hiring? How you getting to that bag? You need some help? Because if she want to sleep with both of y'all, men are too stupid to realize it's going on anyway. If she want to entertain both of y'all, nothing you can do about it. If you know you too insecure to accept that, then call off the engagement, bow out gracefully, and go seek happiness elsewhere. You're supposed to thank that man, because what he did had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with who he is and the love that he has for your woman. And with you around and you not around, if he loved that woman, he's going to always love that woman. He's going to continue to love that woman. And it's going to be what it's going to be. It's up to her what's going to happen. If you're going to be insecure through your entire relationship, worrying about that next man, then you don't need to be in a relationship. Now, it is my belief that there's supposed to be a boundary in place. It's my belief that the woman is supposed to govern herself accordingly. I think my man is going to have a problem with this, or I'm not going to do this. She didn't take the Range Rover. But when it came to him paying for the funeral, that's outside of her hands. She went to the grandfather. He went to the grandfather. I'm paying for your wife's funeral. They ain't got nothing to do with you and your relationship. If the ex is doing better than you financially, that don't take nothing away from you. She want you for being with you. You ain't got to worry about what he had. You're not competing with anybody. There is no competition. You the guy. But here, let me stick a pin in that. Quite often, women will settle for a man because the man they really want don't want them. You got to recognize those signs. Because those signs are serious. They come out all the time. And when you see that, she really not here with me. Her mind is always somewhere else. Her body's here, but her mind is someplace else. You need to bow out and sabotage it, cut it off, break it off, or just figure out how you're going to find happiness in that space. Because she's settling. And we all settle to a degree. The question is, when you confront exes, your mode of operation should not be hostility. It should not be anger. And this is why I got a brother that's a buster that does this. You do not take her side when she talks about that man in a negative way. What you do is ask yourself, what is his side of the story as a man? Because a woman is emotional. She's supposed to express things in an emotional manner. You guys be hating the ex that you never met because she hate the ex. And she hate the ex because she want to be with him and he don't want her anymore. So here you go hating a dude and don't even know why you hate him. You thinking you defending or protecting or being on her side when the whole time you're getting played out. And you run around hating a man you don't even know. Come on, man. That's what surmised this whole video. We have to monitor the hate of people we don't even know. It is not manly. It is not masculine. It is not a trait of manhood. So I suggest, when you need some guidance, you need some direction. What am I supposed to do I'm feeling these certain things. I'm confused about these other things. I need some direction as a man. If you don't have real brothers that tell you everything you don't want to hear, if you don't have real family that'll hold you down and go through things with you through thick and thin, come over to the man government. All we got is us. We need a brotherhood, and we might as well stick together. So, this is Great Zach Tate. I hope I shed some light on some things dealing with manhood and masculinity. If you got some issues, you got some struggles, you got some things you want me to broadcast for the man government segment, let me know. God bless you all. Prosper as a man. It's a hard job, but it's worth it.